This is Common Sense Radio. Straightforward and no excuses.
All right. Come on now.
This is the Steve Gruber Show.
Call me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
What I said was perfectly right and spot on accurate.
Boy's got a mouth like a cannon, always shooting it all.
Stop. Yeah, stop. I mean, you're way off script.
Got it in me. Gonna quit until it all comes out.
Hey, boy!
Been a long education.
Yeah, it's not cynical. It's common sense.
Pay attention to me when I'm talking to you.
I'm gonna rock the nation. Rock the nation.
Genuine, accountable, and raw. Here is Steve Gruber.
All right, my friends, it's Tuesday, and I appreciate the support. This hour brought to you in part by Mesa, good business, good health, and great schools. The phone number to call the program, 888-900-9966, 888-900-9966. You can also check at stevegruber.com to look up podcasts and check on the blogs. We write every day. Every day we're writing something, it seems. And today I might write again about Cecil the Lion. You remember him? Remember Cecil the Lion? Remember the big controversy? Cecil the Lion was shot in Zimbabwe by a bow hunter, a dentist from Minnesota. And the whole world went bananas for about 2 weeks. Oh, Cecil, it's terrible. It's just awful. And, of course, then they moved on to something else. Look, something shiny over there. It's sparkly, too. Run along. At any rate, Dr. Walter Palmer admitted to killing Cecil the Lion in July. And he's always maintained he did so legally, to the best of his ability. After taking a 2-month hiatus due to a flood of protests outside his dentistry, he's now back to work, and guess what? He will not be charged with any crime because he did not commit one. That's right. Dr. Walter Palmer, who shot the lion with his bow and arrow, committed no crime, and Cecil the Lion was in a legal hunting zone. You see, we talked about this before. If Zimbabwe was so concerned about Cecil the Lion or protecting Cecil the Lion and such, why would they let the lion walk around out of the national park and into a legal hunting zone? And the fact of the matter is, Zimbabwe didn't care about the lion. He just happened to be one that they knew by name, and it was a way to insult and attack Americans. Robert Mugabe has been the dictator of that country for years and years, decades now. And at his birthday party in March, Robert Mugabe feasted on baby elephant for his birthday party. And not just an elephant, a baby elephant they went and killed so they could have a feast on the baby elephant. The animal rights people didn't talk about that. The left-wing media didn't talk about that. Robert Mugabe's people had lions killed for his birthday party so they could be stuffed and stood at the door, the entrance to his little get-together. I didn't hear them talk about that either, the left-wing media. I didn't hear them talk about the fact that if lions had value, because lions have value, there's about 35,000 of them. But moves by people like Michigan U.S. Senator Gary Peters to make it illegal to import lions to the United States would cause the destruction of lions. But Gary Peters doesn't understand economics or hunting or Michigan very well, for that matter, in my estimation. You see, if something has no value, it's treated as such. There's this thing I like to talk about with other adults called economic reality. And when something has no actual value, it's treated that way. This law of economics is no less true for the flora and fauna of our world. In the case, for example, of the greater white rhino, they were being destroyed by poaching to near extinction primarily for the horn on their nose because some in Africa and others in the Far East believed it would make their otherwise smallish penises a bit larger. So the poachers were killing the rhinos, sawing off their horns, and leaving the rest to rot in the mid-afternoon sun. It was indeed very sad. The villagers in many areas with rhino populations cared little, and many would get a little bit of cash in their hand to help with the illegal killing. So they did what it took to get a little bit of money in their hand. They are desperately poor people in many places who would take money any way they could get it, and that included helping poach an animal that they had little practical use for. I mean, you're not going to put the thing in your living room. They just wanted to eat and hope they could feed their families as well. Now, here's a point where some of you might get a bit out of sorts. You see, at some point, it became obvious that old rhinos, both male and female, that were well beyond breeding age would become loners and often destructive to the local villages, in addition to having no practical use. So somebody got the bright idea, the genius idea, actually, of having them hunted legally. And they soon learned in sub-Saharan Africa, which I visited a couple of times, by the way, that these barren rhino would bring $75,000 or $100,000 on the open market from Americans and Canadians and Germans and others that wanted to hunt them. And as a result, the villages would and still do today share in the profit. And you know what happened? The poachers soon found they were no longer welcome because the money from the big game hunters far exceeded the few shinkles they got from poachers. And yes, these monies have been used to build schools, provide medical facilities, and pay for new wells, provide something we like to call fresh water, running water. These are the things that are going on. And so the killing of Cecil the lion, legal as it was now, we know, was also a good thing to do. Because old lions also bring in tremendous money, and if lions have cash value, then they will continue to be protected. If they have no cash value, they'll become targeted. By some estimates, the wild lion populations, which are currently about 35,000 wild lions still, that would drop to about 15,000, a drop of more than 50%. You know, sometimes it takes a few different ideas to get the right answer, but the notion of banning one of the most useful tools to protect wildlife, sport hunting, as I said then and I say now, is short-sighted and misguided. I'm sure a few of you are in full convulsion at this point, but the truth is the truth, and it's not always what you want it to be. You know, the truth is the truth, no matter what you want it to be. Let me give you another example of how hunting and fishing and the dollars provided by those that hunt and fish has been a huge boom for non-game species. You see, because hunters and hunters' dollars are used to protect game species and, pay attention now, non-game species as well. Here in Michigan, it took 65 years, but piping plovers have returned to the Muskegon State Park along Lake Michigan. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which coordinates a region-wide recovery program for the endangered bird, said a plover nest was found this summer at the state park in Muskegon County, the first one since 1950. The Wildlife Service called 2015 a banner year for the Great Lakes piping plover, which nearly went extinct in the 1980s from habitat destruction, human disturbance, and predation. This year, 75 pairs of plovers nested in the region, 128 chicks confirmed, maybe more. This winter, biologists in the Bahamas found a banded Great Lakes plover, which recorded the bird's birthplace as North Manitou Island. This summer, that same bird showed up at Muskegon State Park. Vince Cavalieri, the plover program coordinator with the Wildlife Service, said the now 2-year-old bird has likely traveled from Lake Michigan to the Bahamas twice already, a distance of more than 6,000 miles. You know where the money came from? To protect the habitat, to make sure that the plover didn't go extinct? From those that hunt and fish. That's where the money goes. In Michigan, it's a matter of constitutional law. The money spent by sportsmen has to go back into the resource, game and non-game species alike. And it's working, as it has since the days of Teddy Roosevelt. The best game management system in the world is that of the United States of America. Be proud, my friends. It's Tuesday on The Steve Gruber Show.
Michigan, born and raised with Midwestern values and Michigan common sense.
It's Tuesday here on The Steve Gruber Show. This portion of the program brought to you by Mesa Good Business, Good Health, and Great Schools. One of our regular contributors here to the program has been, summoned to the state to share his expertise with politicians from the governor on down when it comes to guns, gun violence, and what can be done to Oh, make the world a safer place, I suppose. And Dr. John Lott, the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, in Michigan today to meet with Senator Mike Green, the governor, and others. He's also on the program with us. Doctor, welcome back.
Oh, it's great to be back in Michigan. I was born in Detroit, so it's nice to be back.
Well, you showed up. The weather's terrific. I mean, I hope you get a little bit of a chance to enjoy some of the fall colors and maybe a glass of cider and a spiced donut. That'd be nice.
I don't know if I will. I think they got me pretty much booked up during the day, but we'll see.
They got you sequestered for the whole day, probably. You're probably about right. So give me an idea. We've obviously, in the headlines in the past few weeks, we've had the shooting in Charleston. We've had the shooting in Roseburg, Oregon, which is, prompted Democrats to start screaming for more gun control and so on and so forth. It sounds to me, though, from the information I'm getting from local politicians, be it Mike Green's office or the governor, that they're taking a more, calculated look at what can be done, to prevent violence, and that's where you come in. What can you tell us about the meetings today?
Right, well, I've been asked to testify before the state Senate just because I've done a lot of research on these types of attacks. And what they want to do is make it possible for people to be able to carry permit-concealed handguns in what have been previously gun-free zones. And I guess my thought is it's about time that those changes were made. I mean, you can't help but look at these mass public shootings in the United States and see that at least since 1950, with just two exceptions, every single one of these mass public shootings has taken place in areas where citizens aren't allowed to be able to go and defend themselves. And, it's just not the fact that you look at this data and you realize it's not random, but it's also the explicit statements from these killers. I mean, just look at this year. The Charleston killer, for example, explicitly noted that his first target was supposed to be Charleston College, but he turned it down because he realized that there was armed security there at the school that would stop him before he was able to go and kill many people. You look at the diary that was just released this summer during the trial of the Batman movie theater shooter. It's very clear there, his first target was actually an airport, but when he investigated, he realized that they had a lot of security there, a lot of armed security, and they would stop him before he was able to kill people. And you look at even the movie theater that he targeted. There were 7 movie theaters within a 20-minute drive of his apartment that were showing the premiere of the Batman movie. Only one of those had signs banning permanent concealed handguns. That's the one he went to. It wasn't the closest one to his home, or the one that had the largest auditorium. And I could go through multiple cases from just last year.
No, I understand that, and I think that you've laid out a pretty compelling case here, Doctor. We're on with Dr. John Lott, and so you'll be testifying to the state Senate here today about gun-free zones and sharing some of the information you just shared with us here on the program. So you would strongly suggest that, in your opinion, based on statistics, not based on emotion, not based on anything else but the facts, and the facts being mathematical in this case, that gun-free zones are a danger to Michigan citizens. And in conjunction with that, there's also another bill out there from Mike Green, who you're here partly on his invitation. Senator Mike Green of Mayville also introducing legislation that will essentially trade open carry in places like schools and so forth for concealed carry, because open carry seems to really agitate a lot of folks. The Democrats, meanwhile, which I'm sure you'll run into as well, are advocating more gun-free zones, banning concealed weapons altogether and open carry altogether at schools and libraries and other places. I mean, how do you address that? The fact that they want more gun-free zones despite the mountain of evidence.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at all the times that President Obama has spoken out during his administration about attacks that have occurred under his watch, that every single one of those has occurred in places where guns are banned. And, I guess the way I would address it is saying, look, if, God forbid, you were really being stalked or threatened by someone, would you put a sign in front of your home that said your home was a gun-free zone? My guess is none of these proponents would put a sign like that. I've debated lots of gun control advocates over the years, And I've asked them that question, and not one of them has gone and said that they would do that. In part, I just think because they realized it wouldn't be taken seriously, and they'd lose credibility if they were to claim that they were willing to do that. And people understand, look, it'd be nice if we lived in a world without violence. Everybody would want that. But given that we do we want to essentially have something that's a magnet for these guys? These guys, these mass public shooters, want to get media attention. They know that the more people they kill or injure, the more media attention that they can get. And so they try to go to those places where nobody's there to stop them because they know they can get the highest body count. My research with Bill Landis at the University of Chicago, we found that the number one factor for determining how many people get killed or injured in these attacks is the amount of time that elapses between the attack starts and someone's able to get there on the scene with the gun. Police
and neutralize it, as they say.
What?
Yeah, and neutralize the threat, as they say,
right.
to kill the shooter, or the shooter kills themselves because they realize there's no way out. I look forward to hearing what your testimony is. I also look forward to seeing how the governor accepts your information and where this might go, because I am quite sure that a bill is going to be on his desk. So, Doctor, we don't have any more time at this moment, but I certainly look forward to hearing some feedback from you and from the state politicians, Senator Green and the governor, about how this all turns out. And I greatly appreciate you contributing here on the program, as always, my friend.
All right. Well, great talking to you. Take care.
There you have it, Dr. John Lott, everybody. The truth about gun-free zones is that they are very dangerous places when they are targeted by those that have some horrible need to kill others.
Keeping you in touch with Michigan and the world.
It's Tuesday on the Steve Gruber Show. You know, I should have told Alex. To pull some REO Speedwagon or Thin Lizzy. The boys are back in town for this particular segment. You know, we have seminal moments in our formative years that, seem to resonate forever. So here's the question to you, the listener. What was the first concert you ever went to? Do you remember the first concert, rock concert, country music artist, whoever it may be? People remember their first concert, right? Because I remember mine. It was at Wing Stadium in Kalamazoo. Thin Lizzy opened for REO Speedwagon. My brothers took me there. My mother thought it was a good idea. If only she had known. Anyhow, we had a great time that night. REO Speedwagon and Thin Lizzy. And it's one of those things you just never, ever forget. You see, Wing Stadium is impressed upon my mind. And now there's a big overhaul taking place, and it's going to be called something altogether different. Our next guest, Toni Daniels, Director of Sales and Marketing for the Kalamazoo Wings, on the program. Toni, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, my first concert was in that facility. What a night it was. What a night.
Was mine, so I recall the same memories.
Yeah, who did you see?
I saw Alanis Morissette in the 90s here.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit older. We won't tell anybody. That's all right. Yeah, I love that. Anyhow, so a lot of people's first memories are at Wing Stadium, Kalamazoo. Anyhow, I just had to do that for fun. But you're changing the name of the place. You're putting some money into it, upgrading the facility. It's 4 decades old now. What's going on?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. We did change the name, and our heritage and our rich history in the community is really important to us. But it's also important as times change, so do we. Looking at Wing Stadium, and we're not just all about hockey, which is what I'm responsible for as a front hockey club office. But we are much more than that. We only have 36 home games per year, so there's a lot of extra days where we want to bring other events into this facility that are family-friendly and give opportunities for entertainment beyond just hockey. So it could be roller derby, it could be curling, it could be a concert, it could be an expo, it could be a circus. I mean, we have 80,000 square feet, so the sky's the limit.
No, it really is a big place. And so it's going to be called the Arena at Wings Event Center, correct?
Correct. So the actual hockey facility piece, the ice, is the arena. And then, then within Wings Event Center, you're correct.
No, and you're also changing the names. You're kind of mapping it all out. So you have different venues. I mean, you don't always need the whole arena, obviously, for a concert you do, but for smaller events, clearly you can choose other parts of the facility. One will be called the Valley, one will be called the Zoo. Tell us about what you've got going on in these other areas.
Yeah, we have other sporting events going on in the area, in those areas primarily, such as basketball through the ABA, pure basketball. We also have volleyball. We have wrestling. We have a motorcycle swap. We had a dinosaur show. So we really can create that space and turn it into anything. We also have church here every Sunday as well.
You know, that would make sense. Even after the concerts, you have church there every Sunday? That would make a lot of sense to me, actually.
We do. We absolutely do. And this particular church was looking for a space that was centrally located and that had great parking and that could hold any number of individuals choosing to come and worship. So,
you've just got a lot of things going on. And, in that city, obviously, it's one of is it the biggest event center in the Kalamazoo area?
It is. It is the biggest event center within Kalamazoo. And that's why we've chosen to put more money into the facility, make some upgrades, especially to the hockey portion of our business. And we have 42 years in the facility, and we want to see another great 42 years. And so it's well worth the money we've invested this past summer.
And obviously, you've attracted people from all over the state. It goes back to your first concert and mine. And I suspect there are a whole lot of listeners that have permanent memories of that stadium, of that event center, because of places, people that appeared there and people that traveled from all over the state and out of the state even to come see musical guests that were there. I mean, but between what you've got in Kalamazoo and the castle up in Charlevoix, those were the two event places that I went as a child that have, either permanently enhanced or damaged me as a human being. I can't quite decide which.
Agreed. What happens at Wings Event Center stays at Wings Event Center. So
and that's probably best. I would say that's probably the best approach to take. So any ideas for like a grand opening type event, or is it done now and we're moving forward? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, so home opener for the Kalamazoo Wings hockey team is this Friday. The puck drops at 7:30 p.m. against the Fort Wayne Comets. This is our big unveiling for the new arena. We invested over $1.6 million this summer in ripping out the ice portion of the arena and rebuilding that. So all new ice, all new dashers, which are the boards that go around the arena, all new glass, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be like watching hockey in HD. And then new sound system. We took the investment into our concession stands to upgrade those. We also had new signage outside on the building. We did upgrades to our landscaping. So we have been very, very, very busy around here.
Very comprehensive. You've pretty much done it all. So for folks listening, again, we're on the line here with Toni Daniels, the Director of Sales and Marketing for the Kalamazoo Wings. And you have 8 distinct places now, and I'm going to run through the list here real quick before we run. But the arena at Wings Event Center, the Valley, the Zoo, the Overlook, the Stage, Heritage Hall, Bar 242, and the Coaches Room. So you have a variety of venues all within the same complex, which gives you a variety of options for people not only who are coming to attend events, but for people looking for a place to put events on and host people from a variety of room sizes and event sizes.
That's absolutely correct. You could be coming here and celebrating your child's birthday, or you could be coming here for a big corporate event. We can do anything in any of our spaces. And in fact, tonight we're hosting a networking event for Buy Local, which is a local membership organization here in Kalamazoo. So we really have the ability to do it all. We also do all of our own catering and food and beverage. So we can customize anything, and we really invite the public to come and experience that.
All right, and the puck drops at what time on Friday?
7:30 p.m. We're really excited. We have fireworks. We've got Western Michigan University's marching band coming out. We are partnering with Bell's Brewery for a really cool giveaway with cowbells for the first 1,000 fans in the door. So lots of surprises and great memories to be made on Friday.
Well, there you have it. Toni Daniels, I tip my hat to you and all the folks making this possible down there in Kalamazoo and for the Wings and that whole facility. Now, I wish you the best of luck and have a great time Friday night.
Thanks, Steve. We appreciate it.
There you have it. Toni Daniels, everybody, here on the Steve Gruber Show. And speaking of sports this weekend, if you can't make it to the hockey game in Kalamazoo, well, I've got another option for you. It's called the football game in Ann Arbor on Saturday. The chance of you getting a ticket, well, Not great. I saw tickets listed for $252 online. I went and looked. Not true. I can find tickets anywhere from about $400 to almost $1,000 a piece right now for the Michigan State game coming up. The 3:30 kickoff is in Ann Arbor at the Big House, of course. And even though we've had some pretty warm temperatures, really nice, wonderful Indian summer here for the past couple of days, it's going to feel a whole lot like fall come Saturday. Temperatures during the game should range anywhere between 44 and 48 degrees. Real college football weather. The wind is going to be brisk as well. Not super strong, but winds could range between 10 and 15 miles an hour. It's going to be a chilly day in the Big House. By the way, taking your predictions at the Steve Gruber Show Facebook page. What is your prediction for the game? Go to the Steve Gruber Show Facebook page.
The Steve Gruber Show. American values with Midwestern common sense.
All right, it took a long time for the Democrats to get to it as far as the debate goes. Tonight, 5 of the Democrats will appear on stage in Las Vegas. Joe Biden still has not announced. You know, the thing that Joe Biden could do to steal all of the thunder and take all of the oxygen out of the room? Wait till about 5 o'clock and then announce his candidacy for president of the United States, or do it at noon or whatever. Seriously, I mean, that would be the way to take over the whole deal. Now, I wonder if CNN will be honest at all about their approach to this debate. You may remember the last CNN debate. What they tried to do was openly bait the Republicans into fighting and arguing with each other. That was the point. Throw a piece of raw meat in the middle and the two lions fight it out. They say they're not going to take this approach. Anderson Cooper is going to be nicer. And I wonder, the State Department told Hillary Clinton yesterday to go back and search for more emails, releasing a letter Tuesday urging her to see whether her internet providers can recover any of the messages believed to be missing from a gap. A big gap. You know, it's like Watergate tapes. It's just missing. But this is different, right? Right? Not so much. Megan Barth here, founder and proprietor of ReaganBaby.com. Megan, welcome back.
Well, thanks for having me back. And she's
here she is. Go find more.
18 minutes. We're talking 5 months. The woman is in trouble.
I wonder, and I'm seriously going to watch this close tonight, Megan. Is Anderson Cooper going to press her on the emails, or are they all going to, pretend like it doesn't exist? And I'm going to guess they're going to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Oh, no, they're going to pretend like it doesn't exist. I'm going to be there, Steve.
Oh, good.
I'm going to be live blogging from it, hopefully, if I've got a good internet connection and everything. But I'm showing up. I'm going to be kind of ambushing people in the halls because I can't get a press pass because I don't work for Pravda. But
right, exactly.
But I can imagine it's going to be a game of softball. But
right.
To increase ratings, don't you think Biden might just kind of crash the party?
I think that, I'm telling you, if he was serious about running for president, today is the day he announces. He would steal all of the thunder right out of the room.
Mm-hmm. All the oxygen. And CNN would get
genius.
ratings. They're not going to have any ratings without him.
No, they're not. I guarantee you that. Donald Trump's right about this for sure. He said they need me for ratings. I doubt they'll get half the ratings of the 25 million people that got to watch the last Republican debate. And so it's at the Wynn, right? Steve Wynn's hosting this deal in Las Vegas, and they've got the podium sitting right there out back in case Joe shows up. But they keep showing it on TV. Here's a podium on a 2-wheel cart, waiting to go in.
Yeah, he's going to wheel it out with him.
Yeah, he might.
It's just such a joke. And this is my problem. When you look at the Republican side, there's a great selection of candidates. Great selection. Probably one of the best selections we've had in years. And then you look at the Democrat side, and you say, you've got to be kidding me. This has to be some kind of joke.
Yeah, a bunch of old white people, right? The Democrats talk about diversity and inclusion and all this stuff. They got a bunch of old white people. And if Joe Biden gets in, they have older, whiter people.
That's exactly right. And if Elizabeth Warren is chosen as Joe Biden's running mate, then we have an additional older, whiter person and one more socialist to add to the mix.
No. She's Indian.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, Cherokee.
Yeah, Elizabeth Warren. She's Cherokee. Yeah, she's Cherokee. For the purposes of this job interview, I declare myself a Cherokee of Native American descent. We're on the line with Megan Barth, founder and proprietor of Reagan Baby. If you got your Al Jazeera press pass, you might get in tonight.
That's true. Well, I figured I would wear a Che Guevara T-shirt, so I'd really blend in.
Absolutely.
I think
perfect.
my "I survived Roe v. Wade" will, kind of stick out like a sore thumb. So I'm going with Che.
That might be, yeah. But Che Guevara, put a murdering thug on your shirt, and you'll fit right in with the new ideals of the Democratic Party. Communism, socialism, Marxism, murderous dictating thugs. Perfect. You'll fit right in. That's the inclusion we want in the Democratic Party.
Yes, that's the diversity they're in search for.
So, what do you expect? I don't see how they're going to do it, but they're going to try to avoid the comments about the emails, I think. But maybe Anderson Cooper will have some moment of revelation, some epiphany where he'll actually be honest with the viewers. I don't really expect it, but I guess it's possible.
Well, CNN and the other mainstream media keep harping on the emails. And sure, the emails are the issue, but really what is the issue is that she had her own private server. Like no other Secretary of State in history, she had her own server, which anyone could hack. They found that 400 emails that she didn't turn over contained classified information. So I don't believe they're going to go down the server path or the perhaps breach of national security. It still is the Clinton News Network.
No, breaching national security, that's her job.
Pardon?
Breaching national security is clearly Hillary Clinton's job, not CNN's job.
Right.
And she takes it serious.
Right. And she showed up at a Trump rally, a union-hosted, believe it or not, hosted Trump rally at the Trump Hotel here in Vegas. And she showed up there and rallied up all of the union members, saying how they deserved a living wage and time off and a bunch of free stuff, more free stuff.
Well, I wouldn't.
So Hillary has time to do that.
So what do you expect for tonight? Is Hillary going to get, is Bernie Sanders going to take shots? There is actually one candidate on that stage that I think is tolerable, and that's Jim Webb. Tolerable. That doesn't mean he's my first choice. But Jim Webb is a pro-gun, pro-America, strong defense Democrat. He's a blue dog Democrat. I didn't think any existed, but Jim Webb actually is a legitimate candidate. And it's actually the first time that Jim Webb will get more than, 10 seconds of mention on any news network.
Yeah, I don't see that Chafee or Webb or I can't even remember the other guy's name from Baltimore, Maryland.
O'Malley.
Thank you. I can't remember. O'Malley.
And so nobody knows who they are. Don't feel alone.
I can't wait to see Bernie Sanders. I just can't. This will be the first time on a debate stage, and we can really see how he rallies the crowd. I really can't wait to interview some of the folks in the crowd.
Well, I look forward to hearing that from you, Megan, and so you'll be putting it up live. We'll be paying attention. Megan Barth, everybody, from ReaganBaby.com. Megan, good luck out there, and good luck with your new T-shirt.
Thank you.
All right, have a great time. Megan Barth, everybody, here on the Steve Gruber Show. It's Tuesday. We'll be right back.